Hello and welcome to this month's Better Business webinar for the Accounting and Bookkeeper Support Group. I'm Della Hudson. I run the group at the moment, and today I'm going to be speaking on how your tax return season can be so much better this year than last. So let's get on with it, shall we? I'm sure you want to find out how to do that. So if last year you were there at midnight on the 31st of January, just tearing your hair out, or even just on the 31st of December tearing your hair out because you were so far behind, then we've got things for you in this. So the reason I do this, I started and ran Hudson Business Accountants and Advisors on 25 hours per week through automating, systemizing, and delegating. I sold that in 2017, wrote the book The Numbers Business, you may have heard of it, and now I speak, I write, I coach accountants on how they can run a better business. However, I also run another small accounting practice, Minerva Accountants, and I'm able to do that because I automate, systemize, and delegate as much as possible in not just two businesses, but I've got a tiny little fintech as well. Although strictly speaking, the fintech is just a side hustle. So we start off in February, we triage our clients and we categorize them all A through to D, and we deal with the D clients, which can mean disengaging them, it can mean a number of other things, but that's a whole other talk. I'm not going to go into depth on that. If you want to see the talk, it's probably somewhere on my YouTube channel. We then work out the clients that we're keeping. So we have a lot of limited company accounts with a December deadline, which sort of get all in mixed in with this self-assessment deadline as well. We have the self-assessment that also need accounts, and then we have a ton of simple self-assessments, which are the directors who've maybe only got salary and dividends, which we run for them anyway. So they're relatively simple, but they still need to be done. You still need to collect the information to check whether they've got anything other than this salary and dividends. You still need to do it, and you still need to get them to sign it. We have a series of reminders. So our standard process, and we use Bright Manager to do this, other software is available. So we can then have a little look and at how we do that. So we start off in April, we send them the first reminder, and then there's another one goes out in June. So we get about a third of them start to trickle in from April with that first email, and then June we get more come in. And then we sort of go quiet for the holidays, both because clients are away, but also because we like to take a break as well. So you might be taking August off with your kids, or if you're like me and child free, then sort of July and September. So we're not competing for those prime holiday spots. We send our third reminder in September, which gets in another tranche of emails, because by then everybody's got their P60s, their P11Ds, their bank interest statements, and all the paperwork that they were waiting for initially. So that gets in a whole lot more. And then on the 1st of October, we sent our final reminder that says if we don't get things in by the end of October, we can't guarantee to get it done in time. 31st of October, we remind them that they've now missed our deadline, and so they need to pull their finger out. But we don't stop chasing them there. We do continue chasing by email and phone call to pick them up. What we do stop doing is worrying about it, because frankly, if a so-called responsible business owner cannot get their information to us that within that time scale with that many reminders, and remember that HMRC are reminding them as well, It's not just us. Frankly, anybody who needs more reminders than my kids, they need a nanny, not an accountant. So I'm not overly concerned. It's definitely their problem and not ours. When we get the information, we'll do our best, but we'll prioritise the clients who have acted like grown-ups and actually got information into us on time. The other thing to remember is it doesn't need to be you doing all the chasing. We use Bright Manager, and I also have a personal assistant. She's actually a virtual assistant and is able to chase all those. We also have it written into our engagement letter that clients need to get things to us within a certain timescale of the year end. It's within 4 months of their year end for these purposes. So they've effectively breached that engagement letter. Now, it's never really been an issue except when I had somebody drop something off in December and then immediately start chasing me to find out how much tax he owed. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to prioritise somebody who drops things in last minute. We were working through the rest of the clients, and so I got back to him and told him that when we reach that time of year, we prioritise in order of receipt. So that prioritising the limited companies, the large accounts, self-assessments, doesn't count when we get closer to the deadline. We have to put them in order of receipt. So I told him that we sent him X number of reminders. He'd ignored them. It was also in his engagement letter in the contract that we signed right at the beginning of our engagement. It's useful to have it in there. Like I say, people don't take too much attention on that. You can also consider adjusting your pricing. So some people have a lower price if people get things to them before the end of May. Others have a higher price if they do it after November. So that might be a discount coming sooner or a price increase for going later. So this is the first year we've introduced what I call our express service. Our express service means that we were guaranteed to turn it around within 3 months. We normally say that we turn things around within 3 months. Our express service guarantees that we'll turn it around within 1 month. So our clients can have this free of charge if they get their information to us by the 31st of July. That's all those who want it for mortgages, the people who want it for CIS refunds and so on. Take advantage of that, and that suits us. After the 31st of July, there will be a charge for that service of 50%, and after the 30th of November, there will be a charge for that service of 100% of their standard fee. So I'll let you know how that goes. We don't usually do that because it's just a pain. We like to have our clients on monthly retainers, and we still do with our limited companies and our larger accounts clients. This is just an incentive for our smaller self-assessment clients. So I try to get people on monthly payments, even those smaller self-assessment clients as possible, because I think one disincentive for clients bringing their information in earlier is when the work is done, they have to pay the accountant's fee. So we take away that pain by spreading it over 12 months. And when the work is done, they seem to just get it in their heads that they have to pay the tax, which of course they don't until the 31st of January. So we remind them of that, although of course they should be saving for it. So the advantage of doing it earlier is they know how much they need to be saving. We have a number of, so that's chasing in the clients, and then we have a number of checklists that we use. So we have our standard checklist for doing the various sets of accounts, and we have the checklist for doing the tax return itself. We also have notes on the client file. So on Bright Manager, you've got that internal notes bit where we put notes specific to that client. And then in the accounts file as well, we have 3 pages in our working papers. We have the permanent notes, which should tie in with what's on Bright Manager. And then we have prior year notes and current year notes on things to watch out for. So we have our standard things, we have our bespoke things that are different for each client, and we can use these internally. And the other thing we do is, before we start any work, we do just check on Bright Manager to see, you can scan through the correspondence and the timeline and see what emails have been sent to and from the client. So I would say, if you're using Bright Manager or anything that auto-files your emails, make sure you keep your subject line useful, because quite often clients reply to an email and you end up chatting about something that's completely different to the subject line. So you take control and change that subject line so that it's easy to look at. We have various methods of controlling the workflow itself. So we use Bright Manager, formerly Accountancy Manager. I've also used Centre in the past. You've got Engager, and FYI do similar things. You might still be using paper. It's not ideal, but if that works for you. I know some firms like to use a whiteboard because they can have it on the walls and everybody can see it. And it's certainly a good visual thing for ticking things off when you get closer to that date. If you've got less than 50 clients, you can probably manage on a spreadsheet or something like Trello, which is the basic Kanban system. I've used Trello in the past. I quite like it. When we were smaller, so we just set up a card for every single client's accounts, and it sits there, and then once their year end's passed, they move across, and then we send the reminder to the clients. We receive the books, and then we allocate it. So we have several columns who it's allocated to. We have another column for sent for query, and then there's a column for review and a column for out for approval, column for approved, and then a column when it's submitted to HMRC, Companies House, wherever it needs to go. So Bright Manager has similar statuses that you can use. We've got a lot of work to be doing. It's a busy period. I would say do schedule in some self-care. And again, we do another webinar on that, looking after yourself, looking after your team. If you're not in a good state, you won't be able to help your clients. So it's in your client's interest for you to look after yourself. So it's making sure that you're eating properly, you're sleeping properly, you're drinking the right things, and you are taking time off, which is why I don't like people working late nights, and we offer time off in lieu rather than adding overtime on top of extra hours. This year, of course, we've got MTD for income tax coming in. So the 2026 tax year end is going to be interesting because we'll have the 10 months to complete their 2026 tax returns, but we're also rolling out the first quarters of MTD. So you really do need to get on top of your self-assessments this season so that you have something in place for them next year that won't conflict with your brand new MTD session. That lovely double workload. I bet you're looking forward to that. So how else can we help? Well, as I mentioned, the book I wrote, The Numbers Business, and Changing by Numbers, is about advisory services for the success of you and your business. We also have the Numbers Business online course, so you can watch it as webinars that go into each topic in much more depth. You've got group coaching, and we have 3 options per month for that. So if you want to come once a month, you can sign up. There's a 6 p.m. one, a midday, and a 9 a.m. one, I think. I can't remember. It's on the website anyway. You'll find out when those are. And so we've spread them over the month and at different times of the day as well. If that doesn't suit you, then individual coaching and mentoring, which I can really recommend because that focuses on you and get your business how you want it to be. And as a special bonus, we have a 25% discount for accounting and bookkeeping supports club members just until Friday. So if you're interested in booking any of our courses, any of our coaching, either individual or group, get in touch for a code that you can use up until Friday. It's all there on hudsonbusinessadvice.co.uk/accountants. But it applies to bookkeepers as well. So forthcoming events in the group on the 17th of September, we've got the Startup Q&A, which will be on Zoom for anybody who's just started up and has burning questions. That's an easier format for you to ask questions. And the 15th of October, we'll be focusing on MTD and how you get started on that, because as I've mentioned, in April, we are doing a traditional tax return season, and we are also doing the MTD quarterly returns. So have fun with that. Anyway, I'll let you get on with your day. Do feel free to contact me with any questions and look for that, the different ways that we can help you. Take care then. Bye.